night. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's your boy, Concert Viz 34. And that was Ants Marching from 6/7/2014. My first DMB two-set show. And as I would learn throughout the years, the best DMB shows with two sets are outside of the lawn. Anywhere but the lawn was the place to be. Now, some venues, I know people said there were some venues where people complained about, even in some of the seating, people talking. But as you can see from that video, Mansfield and Hartford, for the most part, when it got down to the nitty gritty of the acoustic sets, the fans were attentive and paying attention. So, welcome into the Saturday night stream. Sorry. Excuse me. The title, if it does say July 4th, still, I accidentally went live with last week's title. I hope to edit that. If you're watching the rebroadcast, you may not see that, as I plan to edit that out. And we're going to start off with some Dave Matthews Band. Trapping out the Dave Matthews Bando. And I'm excited for the tour, but I'm also excited for some other tours, which I'll bring up as well tonight. First thing we want to look at here is on the Dave Matthews Band Twitter page. This is a nice little promotion that DMB is live on Spotify as far as being able to have options for all the studio albums plus some live releases. Before we get to the question here, I'll tell you this, man. Apple Music has the best way to listen to Dave Matthews Band, period. Because for the same, price that I pay, $9.99 a month for Apple Music, maybe it's gone up, who knows? I don't really care. You can get a lot of the band's content lossless and even some original masters for some of the music. So if you look on my cell phone here, this is Apple Music. Oops, not playing. But if you go on Apple Music, you will see, if you stream Apple Music, you can get lossless quality. So this is a step above CD quality and MP3 quality. And the audio sounds amazing when you pair them with certain headphones like the Beats headphones and the Apple AirPod Pros. You get some even further enhancements audio wise. But I'll tell you this, man, it is the best out of all of these options is to go to Apple Music, because for the lowest price, you get lossless quality, which to me is worth it, especially if you have some good stuff. And you can always switch it back to MP3 quality if you don't want to waste data or battery, but man, it's worth it. It is worth it. So the question here, they're asking, tour countdown is on. What Dave Matthews Band album are you listening to the most prior to the tour? And it says, listen to all DMB studio albums plus a variety of live releases on Spotify. So for this question, which is actually ironic because my answer would want to be Before These Crowded Streets to try to push the band to play that, even though they don't really care about this. This is just to create engagement and excitement. None of this will be taken seriously by the band. It's a promotional tactic to get people hyped up to hey, if they're scrolling through and they see a bunch of other D&B stuff they're going to miss, like planting trees or something about peace and love, and they don't care about that. But this type of question will get people engaged, brings up engagement, reminds them to stream this stuff. But actually, the album that I've been listening to the most recently is Every Day. Came out 20 years ago. And this is the album that, to me, fits the current band the best. And you can argue about the title track, Every Day, right? There's no violin, but the Buddy Buddy Come and Dance With Me has taken a whole life of its own, whether, and that isn't on the forums, you may not have as much excitement, the diehard fans, but at any given show, it is one of the crowd favorites. Him on the organ, doing his thing. And happy birthday to Buddy Strong, recently had a birthday. But I will say this, What You Are, Fool to Think, So Right, Sleep to Dream Her. These are songs, if I had it all, that to me fit this current setup of the band the best. So what studio album am I listening to the most right now? Every Day, especially with this lossless quality. And it is a safe album in the sense that it was able to sound commercial or sound more like the radio than most of the D&B songs that actually made the radio more unique, right? It's a safe album. It was made a lot quicker than the typical D&B album, with Mr. Ballard, Glenn Ballard, producing this with the band. But to me, it fits this band's current lineup the best. But I mean, I hope people are saying before these crowded streets. And let's look at some of the comments here. All right, shout out to my boy Eric of all 2096, who he's a great follower here. He's ranking these for these crowded streets. Lily White Sessions, Crash, Busted Stuff, Under the Table and Dreaming. Remember Two Things, Every Day, Big Whiskey, Away from the World, Come Tomorrow, Stand Up. Let's give him a like here, man. That's a pretty good ranking. If I do say so myself, I actually, and here's the thing with this Busted Stuff, Under the Table and Dreaming. I know some people are in love with some of this music, Under the Table and Dreaming, but to me, Busted Stuff in its full form with Song Like You Never Know, to me is better than Under the Table and Dreaming. If I had to rank this top 5 here, this is how I would rank it as far as, in my opinion, right? I know some people are going to say yes. Some people fell in love with the original. Nothing Studio, Only Live. Please stream the tour opener. Eric says I'll pay $10. Now, what I'll say with live albums, before we get to some of these other comments, as far as live albums, Live Tracks 31 is always in rotation for me. Live Tracks 2. Live Tracks 3. Also been listening to some of the Sirius XM releases. Live Tracks 52. That warehouse is amazing. Always Before These Crowded Streets and Busted Stuff. Both in desperate need of vinyl releases. I agree. Someone saying they're on Sirius XM. Listen to the 9-113 Gorge Crush, especially Big Whiskey. Stand Up. No One. All right, yeah, we're gonna like that too. Jay Matthews Band live at Radio City. Technically, it's Dave and Tim. Come tomorrow. We're gonna tell them get out. Tell them get out. Come on. Just kidding. All right, well, we'll be nice. We'll be nice. Rooftop this morning. How did that get blocked by Twitter? Huh. Lord have mercy. What's up? The fan that Jane likes. Hello. Thanks for popping in from down under. So we're looking at some of these songs here. Some of the things people are saying, but yeah, to me, every day. Actually, you know what? I did get. I did re-download the Lily White sessions, and I did listen to a little bit like a couple weeks ago. I got a different version that's like been even edited further by a fan. So that's why I've been listening to it in lossless quality on some of my runs. But definitely, I would love to see a lot of Before These Crowded Streets, a lot of busted stuff, a lot of the highlighted songs of every day that I've mentioned. I would love to see some of that stuff here. Now, some people are talking about as we go to. Some people have been talking about, come on, stream the first show back. Stream the first show back. It would be nice to get a YouTube stream at the same time. I actually wouldn't be mad at an audio only stream. And this may not be as much of an issue as I think. But sometimes the problem with when they do a YouTube stream, and listen, I was at a SPAC night too, where they did some amazing things. But sometimes when they do a YouTube stream, you see the set list get a little more friendly for a mainstream audience. Not as much risk take because it's going to be on YouTube, right? I would rather have this just be on SiriusXM. And I want to see the band try to take some risks, some trial and error, and push themselves. And that's why I really hope it's just SiriusXM only. But now if it's on YouTube, I'm going to watch it, of course. But I think that the best way to do it is to put it on SiriusXM. For those who may not have access to SiriusXM, there'll be options on for fans who record the soundboard quality and put it up for fans to download for free without, obviously we don't encourage selling this, but being able to trade this as a tape here to share the music from SiriusXM. But of course, download the SiriusXM app, get it on your own car, re-upload it. They have some great deals. You can negotiate and haggle with them, call them real time. And I would always encourage you guys to be on SiriusXM in real time. Because just like I do. All right, so we also, but like I said, yeah, I really think that the SiriusXM would be good enough for me. We've also had some sneak peeks. Rashawn and Jeff Coffin had a little send-off post, but the band is at JPJ right now, John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville, Virginia. And they are doing big things, and they actually took down a Confederate statue today in Seaville, where the band is. Another big thing going on there. And there was a joke by Jason Isbell on Twitter to replace it with a statue of Capshaw Coran, which is a Coran Capshaw, whatever it is, the management team for Dave Matthews Band and Fish and some other people. But DMB, is one of their big clients. So that was a big thing. And let's take a look at Rashawn Ross's Instagram. Now look at this. Fair use, fair use. That is the home of the Virginia Cavaliers. They recently won a national title a couple years ago prior to the pandemic. And this is a common stomping ground for the band, and they're having their setup, testing out the stage setup and the sound and everything, practicing this past week. We also have some of these trumpets. Rashawn is getting used to the in-ears again. Oh my God, Rashawn, stop. Stop it, Rashawn. Stop it. That is so loud. The only knock on Rashawn I have is, bro, sometimes he be going too crazy. Now, if it is a mariachi band, fine, bro, you good. This is Dave Matthews Band. Dave Matthews is the highlight. Bruh, keep it just bruh. Chill. You my boy. Rashawn, you my dog. But bruh, chill with that trumpet sometimes. He be piercing through my eardrums. And he's got some amazing chops, and there's a time and place for everything. Anyway, Rashawn is a great talent, and he's been a great addition to the band overall. But shout out to Rashawn Ross. And this was a joke. I spelled Dave Matthews, or the Matthews part of it, wrong, but there was a joke again from Jason Isbell. $10 says they're gonna replace that Seville statue with the one of Coran Capshaw. And my post was, look, hey, I will pay for that statue. Amen. If they re-release Before These Crowded Streets on vinyl, please do it. We love you, Coran Capshaw, Dave Matthews, the rest of the band. Find a way, make up. All right. Make up, kiss and make up with Mr. Lillywhite and get this thing on and cracking. We need a re-release of Before These Crowded Streets on vinyl. Look, I'm not even picky. You don't even have to throw any extra songs in, any bonus stuff. If you do, hey, it'd be great. Please bring back that press machine and press some vinyls for Before These Crowded Streets 2021, this campaign. So we are getting closer. We're getting closer to the Dave Matthews Band tour, being 2 weeks from now. They'll be in Charlotte, and in 13 days they will have the start of the tour in Raleigh, North Carolina. Shout out to everyone in the Raleigh-Durham metro area, except the Carolina Hurricanes. We need them back in Hartford. Bring back the Whalers. Return to sender. And Fan of Jane Lake says, I need to listen to the Lillywhite sessions again. Yes, it is amazing. I love it. It always intrigues me. I always discover new things about it, especially with these new headphones and some of the better audio speakers I have. I love the Lillywhite sessions. It is a pleasure to listen to the music. Just a wonderful raw and uncut recording. How it was obtained is not right. However, it was obtained. We still don't know to this day the full story, but I'll say that, what was released gave us an initial look into what they were doing in some of the darkest times for the band, while may have been bring back emotions and not so good times, made the best music. Period. It was the best. It was better than what would become busted stuff. Outside of You Never Know, some extra stuff. Oh, you can't access Sirius XM, sadly. Yeah. So, and hit me up if you need. We'll find ways. Just all I'll say is, Fan of Jane likes. After some of these things come out, I listen. We'll get you a taper version of some of this stuff. So that you can get that as well. We'll figure out a way to get that to you. Just message me after some of the shows this summer. So there's some tours that I'm excited for outside of the Dave Matthews Band, and I want to highlight a couple of these tours that are coming up. First one is the Outlaw Music Fest. Now, this is Saratoga Springs. So there's some other artists that are going to be around. And this is just a lineup like the Abbott Brothers will be here as well. But this lineup at SPAC, I am hoping to make this. It's almost like a mini Farm Aid. You got Margot Price, she's amazing. Government Mule, who I've already seen this year. My first real show this year was Government Mule, and they're amazing. Warren Haynes, and I'm sure he'll be guesting on some of Willie stuff. I would hope so. I don't, with them touring together. Sturgill Simpson, who is, when I talk about alt country and when I talk about what I like about country music, it's Sturgill Simpson and also Chris Stapleton, which is in this list. Spoiler alert. But I'm excited to hopefully get out to this. Tickets are rather inexpensive for some of the pavilion seating. And I may snag a balcony ticket or two to get to this on Sunday, September 12th at Spiggity SPAC, the Fenway Park of amphitheaters. Just amazing views. Next up, we have Dead and Company. Now, this has a if you give, you begin to live type feeling. Tickets are fairly expensive for a lot of locations. You can get a cheap ticket, especially in some of these larger venues like Citizen Bank Park, Citi Field, Hershey Park Stadium, where the SPACs, the Bethel Woods, the Jiffy Lube Lives in Bristol, the Coastal Creek Union Music Park at Walnut Creek. And also, funny thing, just like DMB, they're starting off in Raleigh, North Carolina. That show is sold out. So, two major tours kicking off this late summer, this late hot guitarist summer. Hot guitarist girl summer is you're having two different bands do this, and Dead and Co is some original members of the Grateful Dead like Billy and Mr. Bobby Weir, along with some add-ons like John Mayer, Oteil Burbridge, Jeff Simonetti, I believe. So you have some original or core members and some friends of the devil that pop in, and you're gonna get a slower tempo compared to the original Grateful Dead, but they still slay it. I love John Mayer being a part of this thing, and he brings energy. I love Bobby and Billy and Jeff and Oteil. Hashtag let Oteil sing. I'm excited about this because this is a band that has brought me some great shows over the years, and I'm glad they are going to be around here. Some of the dates. Next up, Chris Stapleton. I'm still trying to figure out if and when I'm gonna be able to see one of these shows. There's 3 strikes here in late July, starting off at the Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion, who's further across the country here. But Chris Stapleton is an artist that he is everything I love about music. He mixes up his sets every night. He is a talented singer and songwriter, and he was a songwriter prior to this. His wife, Morgan Stapleton, has some harmonies and duets with him that are amazing. And it's like having a special guest tour with him, except she's always there. Sometimes you'll have an opener that's pretty talented, step in on some songs for a tour. But Morgan is part of the full band, and I hope she's able to travel. I know recently prior to the pandemic, she had a child, and wasn't fully touring with Chris at every stop. And I hope now that she's had some time to raise up the latest child and get them out of infancy, that she'll be with the band full time from here forward, and some awesome venues, and just an amazing musician, Marcus King Band. And this is where I may change my where I go, because Marcus King Band is actually going to be at Madison Square Garden, and so we'll see. We'll see. And I have a bunch of different swings of this I can do in October or July. So we'll have to see which one if I'm able to be fortunate enough, Lord willing, to go to one of these shows. But Chris Stapleton, and then also this is going to be a late summer, but J. Cole. This is just like many of you guys may have started to see the Dave Matthews Band before they really made it big, before they had an album out, right? When they had mixtapes that felt like albums. I have been a J. Cole fan since he was on his mixtape days, Friday Night Lights, and the warm up, that time period when those had come out, and a 2 year period or so. And I've seen him go from small clubs and college gyms to amphitheaters, and even he's had some stadiums that he's performed at. So expensive tour, and I'm going to wait it out, but hoping to go to the Boston show for that tour. I love J. Cole. He is one of the hip hop artists that brings a live band with him, and I'm excited to see him live. And he was the first artist signed to Jay-Z's Rock Nation before he released his debut. And that he has biracial parents. His mother loved rock and folk, while his dad liked hip hop, R&B. And he did have this tour, Dollar in the Dream Tour. Fans pay $1, and he got in. So shout out to J. Cole. No shout out to whoever did the pricing. Bruh, it's expensive. And I'm willing to pay a good penny to see J. Cole. But even so, crazy pricing. Still have a lot of things up in the air for the Dave Matthews Band summer tour, what shows I'm going to. One of the frustrating things about this are the flights. Flights, if you didn't book your flight already, flights are crazy. With everything going up, gas prices, just cost of keeping people employed, because they're going to bigger and better jobs. Things have gone up. And that in turn has, flights are crazy. So the only flight I think I'm taking is the Gorge for this tour. Everything else has to be driving distance. Just to me, not worth it. Not worth it. If I can't drive, I'm not going. Some of these flights are getting crazy compared to prior to the pandemic. And it makes sense that there's the volume to come back. These airlines want to make some of their money back, but the demand is there. So if you haven't gotten your tickets for some of the flights to DMB stuff, you better get a taxi or you better drive, or you better be willing to pay a pretty penny. And in some instances, when it comes to the hotels, I'm okay with some of the pricing and things like that, because, they're trying to compensate their staff, but the flights, man, they crazy. And I know they're trying to compensate their staff too. And some of them got furloughed and let go, but bro, the flights are crazy. And I think it depends on when you fly. I mean, I'm flying Labor Day weekend for Gorge, and the flight on Labor Day, even though it's always a high point, it's high. And the rental cars, Lord have mercy. If you don't have a rental car, put something in, get a free cancellation, and book what you can, because rental cars are going crazy. Even people I know that may have had their car broke down or got in an accident, man, they don't have rentals, right? Late July, there's limited rentals at an Enterprise. And Enterprise typically always has cars, even during the holidays. And you have a lot of shortages, budget Avis. across the country because they did not produce as many 2021s or 2022s that are upcoming yet because of some chip shortages. So they haven't bought new rentals, and they only have the rentals run for a certain amount of time. So there's a deficit of rentals. Also, a lot of rental places have closed down. Hertz filed for bankruptcy. So get your rentals, get your flights, or try to figure out a way to buy it now, or risk it closer to the shows because it is crazy. But we're getting closer to the tour. I'm excited to hopefully bring on some guests that have gone to some of the recent shows, or even that night, pull them in right in 2 weeks from now. I'm hoping to get my buddy John to come on and tell us about the show after the show. This may be a later stream, but I want to get some reaction from people that are there. So if you are going to a show, want to hop in on a live, tell me the date you're going, and then we'll try to see if everything works out. I feel comfortable with you being on the show. We'll pull you in. We'll ask you how the show went. We'll ask you what you experienced, the good, bad, and ugly. Even if it's the day after, right? It's a Friday show. Come on a Saturday night stream the next day and hit you up. So hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up in the messages here, on the comments below. But I really want to bring people on. I'm trying to balance out making more videos with my other life outside of here. And I'm hoping to bring something on Buddy Strong because I'm a Buddy Strong defender. I defend two artists in this band very strongly, Jeff Coffin and Buddy Strong. And I think while I have certain things I have things I like that they do, things I wish could be improved or be modified. Without these two people, this band doesn't exist as it does now. I know there's a lot of slander for Buddy Strong because there's no violin, and that's 100% on Dave. Yell at Dave, be mad at Dave. Buddy Strong is a morale booster. The violin thing is separate. I know Boyd left, or Boyd was asked to leave, really, and they just added Buddy, but that has nothing to do with the violin. Buddy was needed for morale boost. This band would have crashed and burned without Buddy's morale, without his energy, without his singing, his soulful singing, and some of the energy he brings. And Rashawn, you know my feelings about Rashawn squealing, but Rashawn is a heck of a musician, and I respect him on that end. And he's a professional. I mean, he's one of the best, in the business at what he does. I just think that sometimes his squealing gets too loud for the band, and there's times in Warehouse where you have the need for a trumpet to play like Rashawn plays it, but there's other times. But anyway, I do respect Rashawn, and even Tim, who I have the whole Tim CDC thing. Tim is a talented artist who, again, one of the best at what he does, supporting Mr. Dave Matthews here. I just have feelings about his volume and even his being on electric guitar for certain songs. But even Rashawn and Tim, I love them too, and I respect them. And a lot of what they do is approved by Dave Matthews, right? If he didn't approve it, they would change, right? Tim, prior to Roy passing, always came in with a slightly softer tone, even with his electric guitar. Roy passes, and I think Dave tells him to turn up. We're gonna have this rock feel. We have Big Whiskey coming out. Big Whiskey came out. We're a rock and roll band for some of these newer songs. But I still think that the band, just as I played at the beginning of this, the Ants Marching acoustic, and if you missed it, the fan that Jane likes, you can watch the replay. That is, again, it is a version of Ants Marching from D&B 2 sets where Tim is on acoustic. That's really the only major change. Everything else sounds like a regular full band performance, even though it's an acoustic, and there's a different drum kit, there's a different bass for Stefan. It still is just a great performance because you just take away Tim on electric. And there's some, listen, Tim on its marching, some of the stuff he does is kind of cool. It makes it feel more like a rock show. But still, this band, when it's acoustic, is really when it's at its best. There's times and places, again, for Tim or Rashawn to play certain things with electricity or with, a little more, presence. But there's a lot of times where they just, turn down. Let's balance this thing out. But yeah, I'm excited for this tour. Excited for what they play. Interested in what's going on in rehearsals. I would love to be Rob or be his little assistant in Seville and listen to what they're doing and practicing. We did get some clips on Instagram stories. I think it was like Why I Am. It was pretty standard songs they were practicing. It sounded like they were just practicing the staples, like Why I Am and a couple other ones that I heard clips of from Rashawn. Just his trumpet, really, it's like from his in-ear or what he's hearing, so he can hear himself, and you hear the background. Like, I don't know if it was a drum kit or actually the band behind him, but he was trying to get, looks like he was trying to get ready. But yeah, that's what I have for tonight. Again, we'll be picking up here once the tour starts. It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Definitely like, comment, subscribe. YouTube Concert Viz 34. Twitter, Instagram Concert Viz 34. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. You'll be notified every time your boy goes live on Saturday nights or otherwise. That's all I got for today. Peace.